releases their new album, those always sell out. So, yeah, it's a good, it's a neat deal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting stuff. Talked to a couple people after the show as well. A lot of people are actually asking about the tech.
Yeah.
Like after.
Yeah.
And the first question I have for you is just, do people, like for example, my parents, they didn't really know what it was. Could you kind of explain what a laser light show is?
Yeah, so interestingly, they've been around for decades. Actually, planetariums have been doing laser light shows forever. Pink Floyd's sort of the classic one that people think about. But it's, I usually describe it as kind of a greatest hit soundtrack of a given artist or a compilation, whatever, set to some laser-driven imagery that is... There's a special laser projector that we have that only does laser light shows, and the imagery sometimes is just very ethereal and trippy kind of stuff, and then sometimes, like for the Taylor Swift show, her songs are so narrative that a lot of the imagery is sort of helps tell the story, and so it's usually 45 minutes of music that you love, set with some cool visuals to watch and help bring the music to life.
How have you seen how audiences have reacted to this type of tech? Because a lot of people, it's kind of a newer thing to some people, It's been around for a while, but for some people, particularly older people,
yeah,
they haven't seen this type of technology before.
Yeah, it's cool to see the audience interact with the show, and it varies. It varies really by genre. I've seen. So, for example, the Pink Floyd shows, people come in, they sort of get lost in the music and the visuals. It's just trippy. It's a chill out sort of experience. Taylor Swift, on the other side, people treat it like it's a concert. They're singing along, they're clapping along, they clap after every song. I don't know if they did that with Prince or not, if they clapped after every song. Did they? Yeah. So it just kind of depends. And then what's neat, some of the shows are themed. So like around Halloween, we're doing one that's sort of Halloween themed. And so, it just kind of depends on the audience and what people are expecting. And it definitely varies by the night.
Absolutely. Do you think particular audiences, maybe younger or older, gravitate toward this stuff? Because you say Taylor Swift, the fans get really into it. Do you think that's like a generational thing, like younger people?
I don't. It spans generations. So we've sold out our Taylor Swift shows. We've sold out our Beatles shows. So it just takes all kinds. It's a different sort of way for people to engage with music that they love, that they recognize, do it in kind of a unique setting, do it with a bunch of other people who are experiencing it at the same time. And really, I think that's more so than anything else. If you're not going to go to a concert, obviously you're not going to go to a Beatles concert, because those don't exist anymore, an Elvis concert. And going to a Taylor Swift concert is pretty tough. But you can do it with community, with a bunch of other people who are into it and enjoying the music, and experience something different, with that community. And so I think it spans everybody. I know my kids have gone to them and think they're cool, older people and everything in between.
Do you think any innovations are possible in the future? Because I know there's, before the show, they were bouncing around the universe kind of. So there's like the screen is moving and it's all around you, so you kind of feel like you're there. Do you think AI or maybe the shows can expand to like live performances to make you feel like you're there, anything like that in the future? Well,
yeah, I don't know if it'll use that technology. So we have done that in here and in other locations where, we'll do live music under the dome. And as a matter of fact, at my previous museum, we used to do a program called Jazz Under the Stars, where the band would be playing in the planetarium, and then the planetarium director, the planetarist, would just be sort of freestyling, almost like a DJ, and doing cool stuff on the, all around you on the ceiling. in concert with the concert. And it was great to watch the performers because they're playing and they're just doing this the whole time because they want to see what's happening up there. So yeah, I think I don't know that it'll necessarily be a technological innovation. I think it's more of just finding different ways to put the systems to use. Because so for example, and we do this a little bit with the laser music shows, but you probably you wouldn't necessarily recognize it, but the pre-show is the planetarium, and so that's the travel around the universe. Then when we do the laser music show, we actually set that screen to the Milky Way, and so there is sort of a star field behind it. But we could be doing anything. We could be playing a movie behind the lasers, and so it's just a matter of starting to coordinate some of that. There's definitely innovation out there.
So you think maybe not the tech will evolve, but the people like artists will perform and the tech will just be going around them?
Yeah, I think it's finding different ways to have different, so there are two different projection technologies at use in our dome, plus the sound. And so, which component of that do we make live, and which component, and then maybe are we, do we take an existing laser music show and create something with the planetarium system that works in concert with it? A great example of that is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
So, we could we could make it to where when Dark Side of the Moon is playing, we're taking you to the dark side of the moon. And so I do think there's a future in that.
And the last question, it's a bit different, but it's not exactly laser tech, but you know about the Las Vegas Sphere,
Yeah.
and the projector technology with that, where bands will be performing,
Yeah.
and the screens all around them are changing. You're moving the tech is all moving around them. Is that something maybe in the future you can look into here, or like?
Definitely. Yeah, so the technology is a little different between the Sphere and here. The Sphere is embedded LED. The screen is an embedded LED screen, so it's not being projected onto the screen, but it's really in the screen. Ours is projection based, but we can still do the same thing. And we're actually working on a grant with USF, with WUSF as a matter of fact, to do a live musical performance in the planetarium where a musician will perform, and we will have a visual backdrop to that musician performing with an audience of students in the theater. And after the performance, the musical performance will be inspired by some sort of space theme that you're seeing all around you. And then after that performance, the students in the audience will go out and create physical artwork inspired by what they just saw. And then they'll have lunch. And while they're having lunch, the musician will see the paintings created by the audience, which will then be projected onto the screen. And the musician will play an original composition inspired by the artwork that was inspired by the first musical performance. It'll all happen within a day. And so we're looking at ways to do that. So, obviously U2's not coming to perform here at our dome. But we are embracing the same kind of immersive, interactive type of enthusiasm around the Sphere in a similar way here, in Tampa Bay.